Hello everyone, my name is Ryan, and in this video I'm going to cover how to install, play and mod Skyrim Special or Anniversary Editions on Windows 11. Now Skyrim's an old game at this point, but despite the many AAA releases over the last decade, I always find myself coming back to this game. But despite that, the game is showing its age now. So in this particular video I'm going to be showing you some tools and mods that you can install to make the game more PC friendly, fix outstanding bugs, and as well as adding features and functionality that should have really been included in the first place. In other words, this is how to play Skyrim in 2022. So step 1 is to install the game. To my knowledge, there are 2 legal ways to obtain this game. You can get it either through Steam or as part of the Microsoft Xbox Game Pass. Now that would involve you installing it using the Xbox app. Now I've got both versions, but for this video I'll be using the Steam version, but it doesn't fundamentally matter. Either way, once the game is installed, you want to launch it at least once and then set your graphical settings. And this is a very important step as it will create the INI files that we're just about to tweak. So step 2 is to install and run BethINI. Now this is a standalone utility that allows you to automatically tweak the game's INI files to improve performance and reduce crashes. And there are 2 versions you can download, but I recommend you use the standalone version. So once you've launched the utility, you'll find that the interface is very modular, and you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want it to be, although personally I only make changes in the basic tab. I typically tick the option that says recommended tweaks, and then choose the high preset. Once I've done that, I click save and exit. So step 3 is to install SKSE or Skyrim Script Extender. Now this is a script extender that is required for more advanced mods. But the general idea is to download the latest release from the website and then extract it to the game's installation folder. For example, since I have the Anniversary Edition, I'll be copying the entire extracted folder into C program files, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and then Skyrim Special Edition. You want to make sure that you overwrite any files if you get a prompt. Once the process is completed, then SKSE will now be installed. So step 4 is to install a mod manager, and my recommendation is Mod Organizer 2, mainly because it has better integration with BethINI and SKSE. Now there's a couple of places you can download mods from, but I found the best place is Nexus Mods, but just bear in mind that you will need a free account to download any mods from this site. Once Mod Organizer 2 is installed, make sure to launch it and then choose which game you want to manage. In this particular case it's going to be Skyrim Special Edition. So to install the mod, click on the option up here which looks like a little disk in front of a computer, and then browse to where you've downloaded the mod to. In my case it's in my documents folder. I'm going to choose the option here which is JKs Skyrim mod, give it a name, and then click OK to install the mod. Once it's installed, tick the little box to activate it on the list. And you want to repeat this process for any other mods that you want to use with your particular installation. Once you've installed all your mods, you need to arrange a suitable load order. Now Mod Organizer 2 does include a utility called Loot, which will do this for you automatically. What you need to do is click on the sort button, click yes to confirm, and then let it run through the process. Once you're happy with your mods that you've installed, you want to click on the option here to run the game. Just make sure that you've got SKSE selected as the option, as this is going to be the way that you launch the game going forward. So step 5 is recommend mods, and in this part of the video I'm going to be covering some mods that I typically install when I play Skyrim. Now all of these mods will enhance the gameplay or fix outstanding bugs in the PC version of the game, but they're all lore friendly and do not give the player character any significant advantage. First up is Achievement Mod Enabler. Now, normally if you install and use mods with Skyrim, then you'll find that the save file will no longer allow you to unlock achievements. However, by installing this mod, it removes that restriction. In other words, it will now allow you to play a modded playthrough and still unlock achievements at the same time. Next up is Clerks of Skyrim, and this is a mod that adds faction-specific cloaks to the game. For example, guards of a particular hold or guild members are now going to have cloaks with their faction's emblem written on the back of it. Now the cloaks themselves can be found at set locations within the world, added to the level list, or even crafted if you want. And this is a great little mod that adds some characters to the NPCs of the world. Next up is Convenient Horses. Now, one of the things I found daft about Skyrim is that if you purchase and use a horse, then your companion will run after you, and horses themselves do tend to have a bit of a death wish, as they'll attack anything hostile nearby to you, including dragons. Now, the mod Convenient Horses fixes that problem by allowing your companion to now purchase and use a horse whenever you mount one, and it also makes horses' behaviour passive. The mod also allows you to store items in the horse's saddle, but there is a limit, as the more you store, the slower the horse moves. Finally, you also have a horse whistle and a horn, which allows you to call and summon your horse respectively. All in all, this is a great mod that greatly expands upon the horse mechanics found within the game. Cutting Room Floor. Now, this is a mod that adds in cut or unfinished content not found in the original game. Often this is in the form of an additional NPC or item, an unfinished quest, or in some cases new location and NPC dialogue. So if you ever felt something was missing, then this mod will probably have added it back in. Footprints. So one of the things I found strange about this game was that whenever you or creatures walk on snow or ash, you don't leave footprints. Well, funny enough, the aptly named Footprints mod does just that. It will now add footprints to all humanoid and animals whenever they walk across snow or ash. This is a simple mod that adds something that should have already been in the game to start with. Immersive Patrols. So whenever you're traversing the open world of Skyrim, sometimes you might encounter NPCs, but this is often very rare. And considering that Skyrim's meant to be in the middle of a civil war, you never see Stormcloaks or Imperial soldiers battling with each other. Well, the Immersive Patrol mod changes all this, as it will now add in Roman patrols of various factions and creatures to Skyrim which may encounter each other and start a fight. In addition, you may stumble across a large-scale skirmish between Stormcloaks and Imperials which, depending on your allegiance, may be friendly or hostile to you. Basically, this mod adds in some much-needed life when travelling about on foot between different locations. Immersive Sounds. Now let's be honest, the audio in Skyrim at times is a bit meh. Now the Immersive Sound mod aims to improve upon that by adding some much needed diversity to the sounds played in game. It adds in new ambient sounds for dungeons, more impactful weapon strikes, spell effects, improved footsteps based on distance, new sounds for picking up objects, and now wearing different armour types will impact the noise your character makes when moving. It's well worth installing. JKs Skyrim. So another thing I noticed about this game is that a lot of the towns, especially the smaller settlements, don't seem to be finished, and often they'll only have a couple of buildings, maybe a few NPCs, and that's about it. Well, the mod JKs Skyrim fixes that by adding in new buildings and expanding upon existing settlements, making the cities bigger and the towns feel more populated. The smaller towns now have walls and defensive positions where guards can patrol, and the cities have greater detail added to the existing buildings. And it's all done in a way that doesn't impact NPC behaviour. All in all, this mod does really make the game feel more alive. Lean Wolf's better shaped weapons. Although this game is set in fantasy, all the weapons look far too flat or clunky for practical use, so the mod aims to fix that by resizing the weapons to look a bit more realistic. Now the mod itself only replaces the meshes of the weapons and doesn't affect the stats in any way. It's a simple replacement mod, but it's effective. Relationship Dialogue Overhaul. So if you use followers in this game, their dialogue does tend to be limited and they'll often repeat the same phrases over and over. The mod Relationship Dialogue Overhaul improves the NPC dialogue by adding in recorded lines that were strangely not used by the followers by default. This now means that your followers have more variety in their dialogue, especially when interacting with the environment. And this is a great little mod for people who use companions that have just got sick of hearing the same repeated dialogue. Run for your lives. Now, one of the things I found stupid about Skyrim was that whenever there was a dragon or vampire attack, every man and his dog would join into the fray, which often end up getting NPCs killed. I can understand the guards getting involved, same with members of the companions or the vigilance extender, but a local shopkeeper should not really be fighting a giant breathing flying lizard. The Run for Your Lives mod fixes that problem by making citizens run indoors to their homes or a nearby inn during a vampire or dragon attack. If you use this mod, you'll find your cities and towns will no longer become a graveyard. Sky Test. So the animals in this game should really belong in a game such as Dark Souls, as almost every wild animal you encounter wants you dead, which is not realistic at all. A lone wolf in real life would not decide to attack a random human, instead it would decide to hunt in packs, and it's also not going to fight to the death, instead choosing to run away. So the mod SkyTest overflows the animal's behaviour so that it reflects the real life counterparts. Now this does mean that certain animals will now be harder to fight, as well as larger creatures even have a chance of knocking the player character over. The mod also makes it so that animals will no longer decide to attack dragons or dangerous monsters, and instead choose to flee from them. So if you ever thought that the animals in this game were unrealistic, then this is probably the mod for you. SkyUI. This is a fantastic mod that overhauls the menus and inventory's user interfaces to reflect a more PC based installation. It basically replaces the controller designed interface with one more suited for mouse and keyboard. Plus it also adds notifications to the heads up display for any spells that have durations, so that you can now see how long a spell has before you need to recast it. And finally it adds a mod management tab to the game. This allows you to tweak many of the mods on this list within the game itself. This mod is essential if you play the game on the PC platform. Sounds of Skyrim. Now this is a mod that adds new ambient sounds to dungeons, cities and the landscapes of Skyrim. Now most of the time these noises will be subtle, background hubbub in a city, a fox yelping in the wild, or even some creepy noises in a Draugr crypt. And much like immersive sounds, in fact I tend to pair them together, the combination of the two mods does help to make the audio in the game feel more alive. Unique uniques. Although most of the weapons in this game obtained through quests do have unique models, there are many other weapons obtained through side quests that use a standard weapon model. And this mod basically makes it so that any unique weapon does not look the same as another one. It's simple but effective. The Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition Patch. Now this is a mod that attempts to fix all of the outstanding bugs in the game, ranging from bugged quest lines, item placements, exploits, as well as perks in the skill trees not applying correctly. These fixes are based on using the creation kit, so any engine related problems will not be resolved by this mod, but broken quests, missing items, and general game bugs are likely to be resolved if you've installed this mod. Wet and Cold. The last mod of this video, which adds visible breath from the nose and mouth of humanoids, as well as from creatures in colder climates. You're also now able to see visible snow and water on character models when you're caught in that particular type of weather. In addition, NPCs will actively go inside when it's raining or snowing, and that's usually to a house or a nearby inn, or if they don't have that option, they'll put on the hood. NPCs in colder regions will also be seen wearing gloves. I will point out that this mod does add some new assets to the game, and that's mainly backpacks, gloves, hoods and cloaks, but nothing that's game breaking. Of course this is only the tip of the iceberg. There are hundreds, even thousands of mods that you can install for Skyrim, but at least these should get you started. Either way, with that you've now installed and modded Skyrim Special or Anniversary Edition on Windows 11 in 2022. I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you again next time. Bye now.